still remember the terror I felt when I first heard about Dinky the Clown, ghost from the 1930s. It was a story that my grandmother told me as we drove through town late one night. She said it all began when an old decrepit circus rolled into town during the Great Depression. Everyone gathered to watch its performers, including a creepy clown in full makeup and costume named Dinky. The next morning, rumors started spreading around town that something sinister had happened to Dinky overnight. The circus left without him, and nobody knew what became of it, until strange sightings were reported over the following years of someone dressed like a clown wandering around late at night with no explanation or purpose other than scaring people out of their wits. Over the years, there have been numerous people that have gone missing without explanation, and my grandmother believes that Dinky is responsible, even though he went missing more than 80 years ago. My grandmother's words still haunt me every time I drive past that old circus tent site. "Be careful," she said, "for you never know who might be watching from beyond." Despite being so scared, curiosity always gets the better of me. Sometimes at night I look up at those empty windows, hoping to catch just one glimpse of that terrifying clown Dinky from long ago. This next chilling story will send chills down your spine. At the end of a quiet road, behind a veil of twisted black oak trees, there was a house. A woman lived there. On bitter nights like this one, she sat by the fire and read until she grew tired enough for sleep. But on this night, as her lids grew heavy, she was startled by a sound she wasn't accustomed to hearing these days. Who could be calling, she wondered, and this late? She rose from her chair and picked up the phone. "Hello?" "I'm going to kill you," a man with a deep voice said. "Who is this?" she asked. No answer. "Who is this?" she repeated, her hand trembling. There was a click. Silence. She quickly dialed the police and explained what had happened. The officer told her to wait while he traced the call. After a few moments, he said, "The call is coming from inside your house." "That doesn't make sense," she said. "How could someone be inside my house?" "He probably broke in," he said. "Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense." "And that's not everything," he said. "I'm not a police officer." "You aren't?" "No, I'm the killer guy from before. I never actually hung up." "But I heard a click." The man made a clicking sound with his mouth. "Like that?" he said. "So are you really inside my house?" "Yeah." "Where?" The man's breathing grew heavier. "I like your hair," he said. "Wait, you can see me?" "Yes." "If you can see me, then what am I wearing?" "Looks like a blouse from Banana Republic and a skirt from Ann Taylor Loft." "Wow, you really can see me." "I can also see..." "Wait, what the hell is that?" "What?" "There's a person, a ghost hovering near you." It's sort of hard to trust you after the click thing. No, I'm serious, over by the couch. The woman turned and gasped. Oh my God, I see it. I knew this place was haunted. Is it a kid? He's all translucent. Looks like a little boy. What does he want? I think he wants to play. He's holding a kite. The ghost boy floated closer and spoke. Play with me. Oh my God, he can talk, the man said. Play with me, the ghost boy repeated. No thank you, the man said. He can't hear you, the woman said. Put me on speaker. Hold on, she said. Try now. We don't want to play with you, okay, Junior? Just run along. Why? The boy said, cocking his head to one side. Playing is fun. No, it isn't, the man yelled. Who are you? The ghost boy asked the woman. Why are you in my house? Oh, I'm Ellen. I actually live in this house now. And the voice you're hearing on the phone is... I didn't get your name. It's, Douglas, the man said reluctantly. Douglas is hiding somewhere in here to kill me. Right, Douglas? Ellen said. That was the plan, Douglas said. And you guys are scared of a kid with a kite? Jesus, the ghost boy said. A dead kid with a kite, Douglas said. There was a heavy silence for several moments. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Expecting someone? Douglas asked. It rang again. Ellen walked over and opened it. Standing there was a hulking man in ratty clothes, barely concealing a bloodied machete behind his back. Pardon me, ma'am, he said. My car broke down, and I was wondering if I could charge my phone in your house. Sorry, I don't think so, Ellen said, starting to close the door. The man shoved his foot inside. Well, I do think so, he said. Ellen stumbled and fell to the ground. Who the hell is that? Douglas screamed. I'm a homicidal drifter. Who the hell are you? The drifter said, confused. Where's that voice coming from? He's a killer hiding in my house, Ellen said, holding up the phone. Douglas. Hiding? Where? The drifter asked, looking around nervously. He's in the closet, the ghost boy said. What in the hell is that? The drifter screamed. I'm a ghost. I used to live here like 100 years ago. Oh, and let me guess, you don't want to play with me. Hell no, I don't want to play with you. What's going on in here? What's going on is no one will play with me. For Christ's sake, no one's flying a kite at night, Douglas shouted. Give it up. The ghost boy began to cry. Now you made him cry, Douglas, Ellen chided. Sorry if I'm a little on edge because you let a killer into the house, Douglas said. First of all, I didn't let him in. He busted in, Ellen said. It's true, I did, the drifter said. Second of all, you're also a killer, Douglas. And third of all, don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to the dead kid. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you, Douglas said. The ghost boy smiled. Everyone seemed to calm down a bit, until the doorbell rang again. Ellen walked toward the door. Don't, the three others shouted. She opened it and peered outside. There was no one there, just a large wooden box on the front step. "There's a box out here," Ellen said. "There's no label or anything." "I have a bad feeling about this box," the drifter said. "I hate this box," the ghost boy said. Ellen ignored them and carried it inside. She turned to the drifter. "May I?" He wiped his machete on his pants and handed it to her. She popped open the top, reached in and pulled out a tattered clown doll with a sinister grin. "What is it? What is it?" Douglas yelled through the phone. "Some sort of clown doll," Ellen said. "I don't want to play with a clown doll," the ghost boy said, beginning to cry. "Why don't we just put this thing back in the box before it gives us all nightmares, okay?" the drifter said. "Look, there's a string," Ellen said, pulling it before anyone could object. The clown began to wheeze, its eyes shifted from side to side, and an eerily cheerful song emanated from its open mouth. "Welcome to my circus of fun. There's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to run. You're all my guests inside the big top. I'm going to kill you all. Now." If you are enjoying these twisted and terrifying clown tales, please subscribe to our channel. It all started the night I found out about that creepy old clown ghost from the 1930s. Everyone said it was nothing more than a silly urban legend, but for some reason I couldn't shake off this feeling of dread as I heard its story. The story goes like this. In the early 1920s, there was an evil clown named Jacko who used to perform at various carnivals throughout Europe. He had an affinity for scaring people and playing cruel pranks on them during his performances, which made him very popular among children and adults alike. One day, however, something went terribly wrong during one of his shows, and he died in front of everyone watching him, much to their horror. But instead of passing away quietly, it is said that Jacko cursed those who were present at the show with a terrible fate. If they ever came across him again after death, they would be doomed to suffer great misfortune, or even worse. Ever since then, people have reported seeing mysterious figures lurking around dark alleys at night, resembling Jacko's old costume, complete with bright red hair and painted face, seemingly searching for something, or someone. And anyone unfortunate enough to come into contact with the eerie figure has either gone mad or mysteriously disappeared without a trace. I never thought twice about any of these stories, until last week, when my brother told me his friend saw what looked like an old clown walking down our street late one night while taking out the garbage. And he hasn't seen or heard from him since. The police have been searching for him for weeks, but there is no trace of him anywhere. Now, every time I hear anything outside my window late at night, it sends chills down my spine, as I fear that maybe Jacko has finally returned from beyond the grave.